I'm gonna let some people get in here real fast. But what's up, everybody? Live chat. Wait, maybe we're not turned out. Let me make sure. Perfect timing. Yeah, so I just knew I hadn't done a stream in a little bit. Sorry about the noise. I'm actually in the truck so I could block the wind, so I'm doing the best I could, but okay. Yeah, so I haven't done a stream in a little bit. Closer to y'all, good topic. Boston, my man. What's up, Frank? Yeah, we're literally closer to y'all. That's what I'm saying. Like, we're on the mountains. But anyway, so we haven't done a stream. Let's see. I've been like cramming in a bunch of information with my boy Jack. He's showing me a little about Hebrew and then the Hebrew Gospel of Matthew, etc., etc. And I wanted to take advantage of that opportunity. And then we are up in the mountains right now, staying in a state park where we literally have no service. And this is one of the only places that we do have service. So I decided that we would do a stream to at least catch up with you guys so you don't think I'm leaving you hanging. But of course, once we get back on the road, like we were per usual, we'll get the stream every night. Love the view. Yeah, it's awesome, bro. Like, how cool is it that you're literally closer to the creator of all things? Yeah, I'll show you guys. Isn't that awesome? Hopefully that looked all right. So, yeah, I mean, I don't really look so beautiful. If y'all want to talk about anything, hit me up. Hey, my guy, Austin, what's up? Swixt, Mike, Anthony. So, let me see. What do we got coming up? Oh, we have the tentative debate with formerly known as Renty Flat Earth, which is Saturday at 5 Eastern on Agree to Disagree, with the number 2, with Conspiracy Cats moderating. We'll see how that goes. And he doesn't, of course, want to specify his claim and stuff, but whatever. We'll handle that when we get there. We'll be here for a couple more nights, and then we're going to be heading west through Middle Tennessee, then back to where I stay in West Tennessee to get the rest of my stuff out, and then I'll keep everyone updated with the dates and the cities after that. Have a good debate. Yeah, pretty easy to debate, like objective truth, you know? Spotty service. Sorry about it, bro. I'm in the mountains. But yeah, I'll tell you kind of what we went to Rock City today, which has Lookout Mountain. You can see 7 states from one location. Totally possible on a ball, where you can just see mountains like an incredible distance away. Of course, because there is like layered mountains, you can't actually see the base of the mountain. So it's not necessarily the best flat earth observation just for like specifics of the numbers. But if the earth's a ball, I shouldn't be seeing mountains hundreds and hundreds of miles away. It doesn't make a lot of sense, because it would be on the other side of the ball. And they literally like rise to your view, to the eye level. But of course, we all know the earth is flat. That was pretty cool. It's a cool experience. We're gonna go back probably before we dip out of here and make some observations. So like we'll be there for a while, making lots of observations. And I've already talked to a few people that live in the area that might want to link up then. So if you are in the area, hit me up. And if you're anywhere between here and West Tennessee, hit me up, and then we'll link up with you. We'll grab lunch, or we'll have a meetup or something like that. And then we went to Ruby Falls, which I guess has like one of the world's biggest underground waterfalls. And then we get in, and they tell us that we have to wear masks. But everyone tries to say that, right? Like, we went to Starbucks, they try to tell us that. I'm like, no, we have a religious exemption. And they try to tell us that at Rock City. We're like, no, we have a religious exemption. But then we go to Ruby Falls, we tell them that we have a religious exemption. They're like, sorry, we still can't let you in. So I asked for the manager, and then they bring someone else out. They're just saying no, not listening to the fact that they're breaking the law by doing that. And then I have to get the next manager. She comes, and like the head of operations or whatever. And so I tell her, yeah, you know, you can't really refuse service to us because we have a religious exemption, right? Even if you're a private company, you can't actually discriminate against entire groups of people based on a religious affiliation. We, of course, via the First Amendment, have the freedom to, freedom to religious expression. And then if you are actually discriminating against an entire group of people based on their religious affiliation, that violates the 1964 Civil Rights Act, which says that you specifically cannot do that, private company or not. And she's just like, okay, well, you can't come in, I got it all documented, and I told her, you do realize this is like a civil suit. This is illegal. You can't do this. Like, who's above you? The president. I'm like, okay. And she's like, oh, well, he's not going to come out here. So they actually did make us leave, which I probably will make them regret that decision, because we got to start standing up and making examples out of some of these people. But I can't get into specifics of the conversation, as you know, with this free speech endorsing platform here. But anyway, pretty eventful day in general. We got to see Lookout Mountain. It was pretty cool. And like I said, if you live close to this location, hit me up. I don't have service at the actual campground, though, so I'm not going to really be able to respond to emails or anything until here and there every once in a while. But whatever. Let's see what y'all are talking about. The reason gas is running out at the gas stations is because people are lining up to fill everything they can. Yeah, of course, dude. The whole gas is running out thing is on an Illuminati deck of cards. It's literally one of the Illuminati cards, an energy crisis where they run out of gas. This is just one of the many cards they've played over the last year or so. Owen Benjamin lost his YouTube channel. What, the one, like the gay people channel? He even lost that one? Wow. Pushback, private businesses still offer public accommodation, so they cannot discriminate. Yeah, literally not one single person or entity or business in the entire United States can discriminate entire groups of people based on their race or color or sex or religious affiliation. It's illegal. They'll call it a constitutional rights audit. Dang, I need a drink. Crush them. Yeah, dude, we're good. We got it all documented. Those people are a joke. But we need to all kind of start at least pushing something through civil courts so they'll learn, because money runs the world, right? The beast system. And so if these major corporations start to lose lawsuits for lots of money, then they're going to think twice before they discriminate. You tell them, no, I have a religious exemption. This is condition is for the mark of the beast. That's a hard pass for me. So you can't tell me I can't come in. What I miss? Nothing really. I'm just catching up with everybody because I actually have service. We don't have any service up in the mountains, so figured I'd do a stream before we get back up to the state park. But yeah, of course, we did see 7 states from one location. Mountains hundreds of miles away. This is, of course, impossible on a ball because the mountains would be on the other side of a ball. But we didn't make a lot of observations. I got a couple infrared pictures, but we're going to go back in a few days. That's basically it. I'm just catching up with everybody. The toilet paper rush in Australia was a psychological operation for the coming gas shortage lies. Yeah, well, what a coincidence that the area of the United States that's been the least compliant during this last year, the psychological operation, is the area that's running out of gas. That's probably just a coincidence that the Southeast, the ones that are all about their guns, all about the Constitution, at least they claim to be, even though they go around scared of air still, complying even once they lift mandates. That's the area of the United States that they decided to tell us there's a gas shortage in. And of course there isn't, but it's just like the toilet paper thing, like you said. They just say there's a shortage, and then everyone rushes to get gas. And then of course there's a shortage. Gas stations don't keep infinite supplies of gas there. But you got the stupid people that just start going and filling up 50-gallon drums, and they wonder what's going to end up happening. They're going to run out of gas. But this is, of course, multiple reasons this is happening, because for one, they've literally just randomly printed trillions and trillions of dollars over the last year and a half or so. And so this inevitably will result in inflation. So knowing that there's way too much money in circulation and that the actual tangible valuable assets like oil are going to increase when it comes to its value in the US dollar that's about to crumble, that's being inflated, they just kind of create some artificial crisis to justify them bumping the prices up. So they just want to cripple the American consumer. This was all an orchestrated plan from beginning to end. And many of us told you on YouTube months and months ago this was going to happen, that this was all part of the plan, and this was just a multi-layered psychological operation to take away your freedoms, to cripple the middle class, to make there be 2 primary classes, so that you will become more dependent upon the government. And that's what's happening. And now as they start to lift the mandates, you still see people running around scared of air. You still see people bragging about the fact they were genetically modified. So their psychological operation was actually successful. This is just the next step of it, where it's like, okay, how long will they comply even though we didn't tell them to keep complying? That means you've effectively been brainwashed. So what's the solution? Honestly, the solution is to basically create a network of people outside of the system and to get land and tangible assets. And I certainly wouldn't sit back with the greatest transfer of wealth in human history through the digital currency migration, while the elite just make trillions and then conveniently all divorce within 1 year, so that the judge tells them that they have to actually liquefy their assets, right? So they're liquidating their assets, because you can't like just mass sell your stocks if you know it's going to crash, because it's basically it would affect the public too much. It's illegal to do that. But in a divorce, the judge will say, oh, well, you need to actually sell all your stocks so that you can give her half. And that's why these people are doing this. They're prepping for the inevitable collapse. And I told you guys over a year and a half ago that the death warrant for the US dollar was already signed. There is no coming back. The real question is that through the Hegelian dialectic, what exactly is the solution? I told you what I thought it was. They're going to bring some hero figure in, and I speculated that it's still Trump. I still think that. And he's going to come in, he's going to replace the monetary system with an updated monetary system that supposedly has the tangibility of valuable assets to back it, reset via basically a knockoff Jubilees, because they're obsessed with the Torah, they're obsessed with the scriptures, which is pretty funny that a lot of people still think they're fake, but the very people that run the world, they seem to know that they're very real, and they actually meticulously craft their plans according to the opposite of what it does, or they basically imitate it. But anyway, there will effectively be a Jubilees, right? And they'll reset the debt of the country, so that the hero figure will come in and reset the debt, and he'll bring you in this new monetary system. He's going to bring you in a new media system to combat censorship. He's going to get rid of all of these intel agencies that have been abusing us for decades. They have been abusing us, but we shouldn't just blindly... Someone messed with your passenger mirror. Yeah, I moved the mirror so that it wouldn't be in the way of the stream, so y'all could see the backdrop. Buffering, yeah, it's all good, we're back. It's only logical to forecast that. Yeah, so they're gonna come out with a new updated system, and it's gonna be tracked through the digital network. And that's why they're gonna put 42,000 Starlinks in the air, which of course are not satellites going to a medium that defies physics. There can't be a pressurized system adjacent to a near perfect vacuum. You guys know that. But anyway, they are putting up high altitude surveillance network systems, and they say they want to put 42,000 Starlinks in the sky, and they're getting it ready, so where you've been tracked by the government for a long time already, but just wait until it's like literally every single place you turn around. So the solution is to, well, maybe take advantage of this migration of wealth to the digital currency system, make some profits, immediately turn into tangibility of wealth. If you're thinking of 10, 15, 20-year plans within like the infrastructure of the system, that's how you're going to be successful, that's how you're going to plan your life out, you're missing the mark. I mean, you're not going to be able to do that without the mark. That's actually the truth, right? So stop thinking based on how they told you to think, that I need to get a degree, I need to do this and this and this, I'm going to have to work my way up in this profession, where you're going to have to comply. You're not going to be able to do any of that without this, genetic modification, without this little marker identifier that shows that you're compliant with the beast system, with Babylon. What's the time frame? I don't like to make specific dates predictions, right? So like what I think is there's a few ways that this could go. I mean, I'm actually pretty amazed at how expedited this has been over this course of this year, but it's actually, I think, relative to the compliance of the people. So I don't think they even know for sure. I think they want it fully rolled out by 2030 though. So we got a few years in my opinion, but it certainly isn't the few years you should just sit back, kick back and wait till it happens. You should get land. You should network with other people that are open-minded, that research things, that actually know the truth, that aren't just going to blindly bend over to the government, bend over to the state. Because what they're going to do is they're going to out this current government. Like America, as you have known it, is never coming back. So one more bull run? Yeah, there's going to be a huge bull run. America, as you know, it will never come back. It ceases to exist right now, and it will never come back. There is no getting back to normal. They told you it was going to be 2 weeks. There is no getting back to normal. Why would a governmental entity, which is obviously not like an actual person, okay, whenever obtaining tons and tons of power, basically with no hiccups, right, in 1 year, why would they just give it back to you? Why, have you ever known a government to build the federalization and central power that they have and then just give it back to the people? It's not going to happen, guys. It doesn't go backwards, okay? It just continues to progress. So we had a chance to stand up and say no, but no one did. And in fact, people attack people like me that are out in the world actually trying to wake people up, that are trying to fight for their freedoms. y'all attack me. You, not the people in the stream, but people in the world, they attack me because they don't even know anything about the psychological operation. They don't even know the nature of where they live. They never researched it. They don't know the radius value or the circumference value or the axial tilt or the axial rotation or the orbital trajectory. But we're crazy because I know every single aspect of that off the top of my head. I've gone and made actual observations of the earth and know that they lied. It's the same thing with this psychological operation. They don't even know anything about the test. They don't know anything about the death rate. They don't know anything about what's going on. But we're crazy because we don't walk around scared of air. And so I tried to warn people, we tried to warn you, but now it's kind of past that. It's just time to get your own land and network with people that aren't dependent upon the system. And now they've rolled out government dependence across the board. And even the Southeast, which typically stands up, they've just accepted the unemployment. They've accepted the stimulus. Everyone's dependent upon unemployment. They're gonna rip the rug out from underneath you, and then you're going to literally need the state to survive. And that's what's gonna happen. It's already happened. So it's time that you start thinking not based on what they tell you. It's not like, oh, we'll get to go back to concerts if they give us permission to. No, the power is in their hands now, and the only way that you'll get a little bit of freedom back is to do whatever they say. And that includes being genetically modified. And I didn't say that, that's what they said. And if you haven't researched that that's literally a genetic modification that people are taking, that doesn't make me crazy. I've read every medical journal publicly available. Flatten the curve in just 2 weeks. Yeah, in just 2 weeks. Just 2 weeks, guys. You just comply and then we'll go back to normal. Just 2 weeks. Over a year ago. They ran a drill and were successful. I think they're actually probably baffled at how successful it was because they've actually lifted the mandates and people still run around doing the same thing anyway. It's actually getting worse. And now they told people, look, we're going to run out of gas, and everyone just sees the news and they're like, okay, let's go buy up all the gas. Look, the gas is out. You bought all of it, you stupid people. That's why the gas is out. And this is on the Illuminati card. It says energy crisis. Every single thing that's happened through the last year was literally printed on a 1990 deck of Illuminati cards. It's a joke. They're literally playing a game. But we're crazy. Got to start a website from about the Enclosed Cosmology Fellowship group. Websites. Yeah. See if we got any questions here. Use the stimmies for the transition of wealth and invest in crypto. Yeah, exactly. I'm not saying that if they're handing out money not to take it because they've ripped you off and stole your money your entire life. Their taxation is literally theft. That's supposedly why the country was started, right? Because taxation without representation, that's literally what happens 24/7 every single time you buy anything now. I'm not saying not to take a little bit of your money back, but if you're dependent upon the government and you refuse to work and you think that this is just some like buffer zone where, well, actually, this has been awesome. This psychological operation is awesome. I'm just gonna stay at home, play video games, and I get money. You're gonna be screwed, bro. If you're depending upon the government, they're going to rip the rug out from underneath you. The reason gas prices are gonna go up is because they printed trillions of dollars and inflation is inevitable. The death warrant of the dollar was already signed. So of course the price of gas is gonna go up because it's an actual tangible asset. It's actually valuable. So the dollar isn't valuable. Oil is valuable. So in order to purchase tangible assets that are valuable, the price has to go up. So they just told you that some cyber attack created a shortage. So that justifies the fact that they just signed the death warrant of the dollar over a year ago. And really it's been going on for decades, but they just expedited it over the last year. Trillions of dollars. They started spending trillions of dollars. They spent more money in the last year than like the previous decade. You guys think there's no ramifications for that? It's a fiat currency Ponzi scheme. There's not been one fiat currency system to ever work in the history of mankind. They've all collapsed, literally every single one of them. It isn't real money. Hey, what's up, brother? Gorgeous view. Yeah, it's super dope here. I think this is where I want to get land, like close to the mountains. Until then, enforcers are too scared to enforce. It's just going to get worse. Honestly, here's the deal. If people have already complied too much to where they're genetically modified, they'll never go back because of pride and ego. And they're conditioning you for the mark of the beast. And you might think that that's crazy. No one cares what you think. They don't care if you think it's crazy. They want you to think it's crazy. There was a prophecy from thousands of years ago that in order to buy or sell, you have to identify yourself, and that it has to do with your wrist and forehead. And you've been walking in stores for a year getting scanned on your wrist and forehead and didn't put it together. They just laugh at you people. Like you're getting scanned on your wrist and forehead to go in stores to buy and sell. It's literally thousands of year old prophecy. And you think it's just a coincidence that they're also going to genetically modify you, which is also in the prophecy, and that you'll no longer have the light shine in you. You're going to change you, bro. They're going to change you. And obviously I can only say specific things the way I'm wording it right now because I have one more strike. They're going to terminate the channel. Ain't no sitting around the couch here. Dogs tore it up. Whoa, bro. Run a psyop on that like button. That's what I'm talking about. Pride and ego are deadly. Deadly people can't admit they got tricked over and over. It's easier to fool people, or it's easier to, yeah, to fool people than to convince them that they've been fooled, bro. And those that humble themselves will be exalted. Those that exalt themselves will be humbled. Keep it going, brother. Don't underestimate your reach. Yeah, I'm going to keep going until I get taken out, bro. I'm not going to stop. They don't really assassinate people anymore anyways. They just character assassinate you and then make it where you can't make a living. Like, oh, YouTube's so pro-free speech that they literally strike me for telling you the truth of that, reading off a medical journal. If I go to CDC and read what it says, they'll strike my channel for reading what it says on their own website. It's a clown world. You're only allowed to talk about something that's stupid. If I opened up like presents on camera, I'd have millions of views though. I challenge everyone here to help wake up their family members and even memorize the 10 Commandments. There's more than 10 Commandments, and the Hebrew etymology actually is words, and there's way more than 10 of them, but I would encourage everyone to read the Torah. That's what I encourage you to do. Read the Torah. Don't let men interpret it for you. Pray to the Father for wisdom and discernment. He'll help you grow. And then apply the instructions, because that's what's going to keep you alive and separate you from Babylon. Babylon's already here, but it's being rebuilt. I showed you guys the Georgia Guidestones. It's literally about rebuilding Babylon. I went there in person, showed you guys what it says, and broke it down for you guys. It's literally about rebuilding Babylon. They don't even hide it. But they have to maintain human population under 500 million in perpetual balance with nature. And they claim there's like 8 billion people. How do you get to 500 million? I don't know. Make them inject poison maybe. Maybe that'll help. Gotta have clever wordplay. I'm doing the best I can to skirt through it. Thoughts on Palestinian conflict? I don't really keep up with clown world fake mainstream media, so I'm not sure what you're talking about, but I do know that Israel is actually the spiritual house, and it's not some land that just claims they're special because of a geographic location when they literally subvert every single government in the history of the United States has never been so subverted except for by this country. So I'm not really a big fan of like those that just claim they're ethnically superior to us because of where they live. But what's my take on it? I don't know. You'll have to tell me kind of what the supposed story is. On the fence about nukes, Nikola Tesla said he disintegrated atoms thousands of times with billions of volts and nothing ever happened. And they claim that we dropped 2 nuclear bombs in World War II on Japan. But no, they had 1 million Russian troops invading on the ground on the 9th, which is the day that they surrendered. They originally reported that they actually were firebombed. It was illegal as a U.S. journalist to report on this except for one single approved person, and it was actually with capital punishment being the punishment. You were actually going to be killed for treason if you reported in World War II that they weren't nuclear bombs. This is real. You can go research it. Nuclear bombs are just some little like fear tactics like, oh man, obey the government. They can drop nukes on you. Oh, China's going to drop a nuke on you. Like, no, they have crazy weapons, but nuclear bombs is pseudoscience. So stop living in fear because it's not real. You can't even validate the materialistic characteristics of anything on the subatomic scale. It's never been independently validated or manipulated. So I'm crazy because people don't even know that. Churchians slander anyone going back to Torah. Yeah, but those are the real believers. So church is stupid. Church translates, or the etymology of church is circus. So, and synagogue isn't even a Hebrew word. It's a Greek idea. Gog. Not a coincidence. The system on verge of collapse. I'm actually like talking loud because there's people around here, guys. That's why I'm getting worked up, just so they can hear me. The system on the verge of collapse. Invest in preparing to defend and provide. Yeah, just live off the earth, and don't depend on the system, and network with people that have the same idea. So get land, grow your own food, get your own clean water supply. You can have free electricity with magnetic generators. Magnetism is the one field in the world that means it's self-autonomous energy. Simply, it's just self-governing perpetual energy. It's magnetism. So if you just use magnetism and what's around you, the etheric realm, all in the air and in the ground and in water, you can have endless energy. Just build your own generator, build your own like community. You can teach the children the truth. You don't have to teach them all this nonsense about how Christopher Columbus decided the earth was a ball because he found the United States and discovered it even though people already lived here. That's not the correct breakdown of the word synagogue. I didn't even break it down. I'm just saying it's sin. It sounds like sin. Gog and Gog and Magog are in the end. So I'm saying if you think it's a coincidence, English is their wizardry language. There are no coincidences. You sound like a coincidence theorist, bro. But no, yeah, the synagogue isn't a Hebrew word. I encourage you to go track synagogue back to Hebrew It's a Greek idea, it's a Greek word, it has nothing to do with the original scriptures, and it's about fellowship of believers, and they would go do that in the wilderness. They do it wherever they were. They change the location constantly. It's not a building that gives their taxes to the government or like gives their authority to the government so they don't have to pay taxes. It has nothing to do with the true creator. Man have completely tainted everything. If you go to church in a building on Sunday and they give their authority to the government, that's nothing to do with Yah. Dude, he used to flip tables because they sold something in the church. Now we have churches that are literally giving their authority to the government so they don't have to pay taxes. That's why they all had to shut down. You have churches scanning people's wrist and forehead as they enter right now. It's officially a clown world. So don't worry about what people say. Religion sucks, but the scriptures are true. You have to get to the Hebrew, you have to pray, and read the Torah. The modern church told you just read the New Testament. No, let's read the Torah. Yeshua himself said, read the Torah. It's all about the Torah. If you love the Father, then you follow his commands. You rest once a week. You don't eat pork. It's simple stuff, guys. You don't just go around having sex with everybody. If you have sex with a female, you're supposed to be willing to have them as a wife and provide and protect for them for the rest of their lives. These are simple things we should already know. You don't rape people. You don't kidnap people. You don't steal from people. But if you don't adhere to the instructions, then you're not going to be able to survive in the end. I'm just letting you guys know. It's what keeps us alive. It's what keeps us alive. It's what distinguishes us from the beast system. So when they tell you that they reverse cell degradation, you're not going to age anymore, and they tell you that they're going to wipe your debt, and they're going to tell you that you can go back to concerts, just take this genetic modification, because I can only say that. I can't say specifically what it is, and we all know that. And then people sell out for that. You're effectively selling your soul. There's no coming back. So you guys need to be able to be honest with yourself and look in the face of, can I face starvation and know that Jehovah, the one true creator, is going to provide for me? Or am I going to turn to the government to give me some bread in the bread lines? Am I going to need them to survive? Can you actually look in the face of starvation and death and having no money and having the system trying to converge on you and having your own family members turn on you and snitch on you and still say 100 and stand strong? Or can you not do that? If you cannot do that, you're not right with the Father. You need to start praying. You need to get right with him. It's not complicated. It just requires humility. He doesn't expect you to be perfect. He just wants you to actually be honest. That's it. Be honest and try. And he's calling people. And so if you're on this stream, it's not a coincidence. When I meet people in the real world and they hear me talking, it's not a coincidence. They were placed there to hear it. There is no coincidences. And there's forgiveness and ignorance, where it's coming to the point where ignorance will get you killed. And so when he's drawing people to hear the message. So if you hear the message, I just encourage you to heed it. For example, one of the things according to Torah is that you should grow a beard. Well, now they're coming out and saying that beards carry germs and diseases and they're dangerous. They're engineering the New World Order against the Torah. But literally every part of the Torah will be illegal. It'll be illegal to keep the Sabbath, which isn't on Sunday. It's on the final day, which is on Saturdays, right? So the New World Order is going to be nothing but the antithesis of the Torah. So I wonder why they do that. Why do people that are trillionaires, that have the most power out of anybody else in the entire world for thousands of years, why are they so obsessed with the Torah? Why are they so obsessed with Yeshua? Why did they tell you he was born on December 25th when he was actually born on 9/11? Why did they carry out psychological operations to associate 9/11 with trauma? Why are they obsessed with him if he's fake? Why are they obsessed with the scriptures if it's fake? Because it's not fake, and they know it's powerful, and they think they can use it, flip it, invert it using natural law, and they have a metaphysical advantage over you when they cast spells on you, and you agreed to it. They had to tell you how stupid it was. If you read their own literature, they tell you what they believe. They have a Luciferian doctrine. They do not think that everything came from nothing. They know the Earth's stationary. They know that there's a firmament. They know the sky resets around Polaris for all recordable history right over the center of the Earth. It's flat. It's not moving, and it's the center of everything. They know that, but they just don't want you to know that, because they can tell you that you're a tiny speck of dust. Everything came from nothing. Lightning struck primordial soup, and then somehow, miraculously, we had rocks turn into humans, abiogenesis, which is literally never and will never, ever in any way be proven. And then you had some fish jump out of the water and grow feet, and then you turned into a rat, and then you turned into an ape, and now you're a human, but it's just pure happenstance. And there's equal dispersal of energy from every single background radiation test in the history of mankind central to the Earth, but it's just a coincidence. The Earth isn't the center of everything, I promise. Just the sky resets over top of us for all recordable history. And it may look like the sky resets every year over top of you, but it just looks like that. Really, the sky is still and the Earth is moving. So I know you can't feel the Earth moving, and it looks like the sky is moving, but really the sky is still and the Earth is moving. And when you see the sun move away from you and set, actually you're falling backwards 1,000 miles per hour, and it just looks like that. And I know the sun and the moon just happen to look exactly exactly the same size so we can have perfect eclipses, but actually the sun is 400 times bigger than the moon and coincidentally exactly 400 times further away, so that they just happen to look exactly the same. Because if you believe all this nonsense that they put out in front of you, you tricked yourself, you deceived yourself, you actually disposed of your own logic that you were given by the Creator, so they don't think they have repercussion for that. It's called natural law. You have to trick yourself. And they don't want you to know you're special. If the Earth's the center of everything, how'd it get there, guys? Do you think a Big Bang made it? And the Big Bang theory was proposed by a Catholic priest. And it doesn't even explain how everything came into existence. It says there was a pre-existing energy. So it just kicks the can down the road anyway. It's just stupid. And it says that everything expanded equally from that central point of the Big Bang, yet all of the energy disperses equally from the central point of the Earth. So how does that work? It's stupid. But it's not a big deal. Like, it's a crazy time to be alive, but it's a good time to be alive at the same time. We're blessed to be in the generation where we can talk to each other through the internet like this. You can research anything you want to if you're diligent enough, even though almost everything's being censored now. And then we have tons of things being revealed. In the 50s, our like great grandparents, they weren't ready for these truths. Okay, so you live in a crazy time. It's a blessing and a curse. But just look at it like a blessing and just accept it. It comes with a lot of responsibility, but pretending it's not real is not going to save you. It's not going to help you. So just like in 98% of people voted for Adolf Hitler at the time, we'll just like take the official narrative. The fourth commandment, to keep Shabbat, is particularly sacred because it's not written on our hearts, but only available through Jehovah's word and is linked to his creation account. Thank you for the support. Infinity Split to 456. Great stream. Also check your odyssey.com. I sent you 1100 LBC tip. Keep it up. Wow, thank you, bro. Thank you for the support. And I didn't even remember I had one of those, but much appreciated. Thank you for that, bro. Slave Masonic dictionary definition of atheist: such a state of mind can only arise from the ignorance of stupidity, of a corruption of principles, since the whole universe is filled with moral and physical proofs of a creator. Every single Masonic book ever, every single elite literature that exists, they know there's a creator. You can't even be a Mason without acknowledging there's a creator. Literally, they don't let you in. You can't be an atheist and be a Mason. And 99% of Masons don't know what's going on. They're typically, some of them are even good people. They have no idea what's going on. They don't tell you the secrets. They just sit back and see if you can figure them out. That's how you make the cut. Or you'll never make it to the 33rd degree because you have to be voted on and then brought in there and replace someone else that's leaving. So if you just sit back and they're like, oh, you didn't pass the IQ test effectively because you still think the Earth's a ball that defies physics and spins around, because we're spinning and revolving around the sun at 66,600 miles per hour, 666, on a 23.4 degree tilt taken from a 90 degree right angle is 666, so 66.6 degree tilt, right? And then the circumference of the Earth in nautical miles is 21,600, 6 times 6 times 600. The diameter of the moon is 6 times 6 times 60, 2160. You think these are all coincidences? The curvature rate is 8 inches per mile squared, 0.666 feet per mile squared. They told you what the trick was about. I can actually see them. Anthony Bear?
Yep.
Yeah. Thank you, man. Bro, I have a great 100% debunk the globe model video I would like to make. I don't know where to start. Maybe you would want to make it. I'll show you. It's pretty cool. Target 1 at comcast.net. Not entirely sure what you're asking me to do, bro, but I would just thank you for the support. Just email me at Whitsitt@protonmail, WITSIT@protonmail, and then target 1 at Comcast. Look, I'll screenshot it. I'll screenshot your super chat, bro. Thanks for the support. We'll figure it out. They can get you to go against your own senses, then they can get you anything over you. That's why over the last year they've said, look, do this. Wait, never mind, do the opposite. Because I can't get in specifics, because if I get one more strike, they'll permanently terminate my channel. So, is what they said, right? But anyway, look, guys, do this. Okay, let's just say it like this. Air's bad for you. Oh, air's good for you. Oh, air's bad for you. Oh, air's good for you. Oh, wait, it's kind of good for you. Oh, wait, it's bad for you. Because if they can get you to constantly believe antithetical premises over and over and over based on whatever the media says that day, then they've effectively ripped your cognitive ability away from you, and then you'll fall for anything.
Don't use this for protection. Actually use it for protection.
Right. Austin, what are your thoughts on Brian Mullen's Force the Line experiment? Haven't really looked into it, so nothing. Yahusha took the Nazarite vow, same one as Samson, during the Last Supper. Jack shaking his head, but I don't really know much about that to actually speak on it.
Because because of the English translation that says he won't be called Nazarene, but that's a bad translation.
Oh yeah, you can't just look at the English translation or the like any of the English translations, so or the concordance.
Actually, he will be called a netzer, but you'd have to understand what netzer is. That's a deep dive study. But look into it.
Hey fam, you need to start a backup channel. I already got one. It's called Globebusters Activism. GLOBEBUSTERS Activism. So Globebusters Activism is my backup. I'll start a WitsitGetsIt backup too. But I mean, I'm pretty like particular with how I use words now. They can't really censor me. I'm not even saying the trigger words. But then again, you know, they literally said I was enticing violence because I said that I was tired of us going to war, so they can do whatever they want. Austin and JJFS, thoughts on Star of David and circumcision? Okay, well...
no and yes.
Yeah, no and yes, there you go. And yeah, there's nothing inherently wrong with a geometric, like, shape, right? Like, there's nothing wrong, which is kind of redundant, but geometry is beautiful, sacred geometries and everything. It's actually a main proof of the creator, the golden ratio, Fibonacci sequence, which is really just the numerical representation, the quantification of the shapes, right? But that energy reciprocation of shapes is all throughout everything. There's nothing wrong with that, but they've just taken that knowledge and they've used it as like a key way to deceive you. So it isn't really that it's bad, but yeah, for what they represent, the symbolism, to me, it's evil, right? They're evil, but there's nothing inherently wrong with shapes. It's actually a beautiful aspect of life is sacred geometry. So my take on the Star of David, I don't know. I mean, there's a whole bunch of rabbit holes you could go down there. Seems to be similar to the Seal of Solomon. Only person that ever got 666 talents, and there's, you know, let he who hath wisdom, man, number 666. I don't know. It just gets weird. They're obsessed with Solomon. They're obsessed with his temple. I think they have a true Gnostic recollection of Solomon that we don't know. It's really hard to get to that one.
In the time of the so-called Dark Ages, they called it a talisman of protection.
A what?
In the so-called Dark Ages, it was claimed that it was a talisman of protection. This Star of David thing.
Speaking of that, the Dark Ages, if you've never seen it, the Patterns of Evidence, the Exodus is super awesome watch, and it shows you how basically to undermine the validity of the scriptures being the most historically accurate compilation that exists, if you didn't know, it breaks down exactly what happened to the Israelites when it comes to Egypt, and then like the progression of what happened in Egypt and how they came out of it, etc. And so they said, oh, the Bible can't be true, the scriptures can't be true, look how off this is, there's no evidence for it, this happened in the Ramses era, when the truth is there's archaeological evidence and anthropological evidence for every single one of the claims, so specifically accurate, it's insane, but they put it in the wrong timeline, so they dismissed them all, saying, well, yeah, this is we found the wheels at the bottom of the Red Sea, chariot wheels at the bottom of the Red Sea, but oh, it's got to be wrong because it's in the wrong time era, over and over, etc., etc. Yeah, Patterns of Evidence, the Exodus. Definitely check it out because it just shows you that all they did was move the timeline so that the anthropological evidence wouldn't prove, or you know, they could say it doesn't prove it. So they know it's real. They know that over time we're going to discover more evidence. So they came. It's really pretty smart. All they did was find one way to make sure you didn't put the pieces together by moving the timeline. And the reason I was reminded by that is because it just looks like the timeline's off. Is kind of what I'm telling you. Like they added at least 1,000 years to the timeline, in my opinion. Yeah, now that's a big red pill for some people, but no, dude, you cannot validate the actual historical timeline. They lied. Roman Catholic Church took everything. So go ask the Vatican what's up. I want to start organizing the experiment in Australia. I don't know much about that place, bro, but I'm just trying to fight with people to be free in America. So I think everyone, you're where you're at for a reason. Stand up for the truth as long as you can where you're at. And that means get right with the Father, because it says that eventually you have to face decapitation. If you're not ready for that, then you're going to fold. You're going to take the little stamp that'll make you immortal, but it won't. And you'll long for death, and it'll flee you. Don't take it. What channel is your debate going to be on Saturday? Agree to disagree with the number 2. I forgot. If you type that in, it'll pop up. That channel that pops up, it's got like 50,000 subs, and Conspiracy Cats or whoever, whatever that gamma's name is the moderator. Damn, bro, you're connected. What do you think about the assertion the Roman Empire never existed? I don't know about that one. Yeah, I've heard that. Maybe it is just like a backfilled era to explain a whole bunch of things. I don't know. It does appear that the Romans existed, but what we've been told about them isn't true. And they're not great innovators. They're great destroyers. But really, there's no way to validate what happened. So what do I think about it? It's intriguing. You know, I think that the most intelligent thing to do sometimes is to efficiently acknowledge what cannot be known instead of wasting time trying to figure out what cannot be known too long. I think it's intriguing and actually responsible to look into some of these things to at least be able to know where you should stop. But you're gonna try to get into the specificity of like here's some word salad for you guys, to try to get into the specificity of the historicity of the timeline that we were told. Good luck, bro. Good luck. So I think they added 1,000 years at least. You know, the unopened mind cannot understand this, but this is not why I do this. I don't talk to those people. You have to have eyes to see or ears to hear. Let the dead bury the dead. We're way past that. We're way past trying to wake people up that don't want to hear the truth. Some people do want to hear the truth. That's why I do this. And the Father called me to do it. I sold all my possessions, dude. I know for a fact he called me to do it. And he's got something he wants you to do too. Are you going to take the genetic modification? What do you think? I'm going to assume that you're new to this channel, or you're one of the globe trolls that stalk me but claim I'm stupid simultaneously. You watch every one of my streams, but I'm so stupid that you listen to me rant on camera for hours at a time. Because the Earth's a ball. But no, of course, I'm not going to take anything. You don't need any synthetic introduction to the immune system. It actually weakens you. They shove it, tons of needles in little babies and weaken their immune system. That's a hard pass for me. It seems like it's from the beast. The creator, I don't think the creator would make something that you have to murder babies to use the medicine so that you're not sick anymore. It doesn't sound like the creator would do that. It's not adding up. The beast will have to kill me. Well, that's what happens. The beast system converges on you and you need Yah to survive. All right, we rocked out 40 minutes. Check how beautiful it is, guys. But wouldn't the non-existence of the Roman Empire undermine the veracity of the historical record in the scriptures? Why do you say that? The Romans came, took the scriptures, and changed everything. How does the veracity of the scriptures change based on them lying about Rome? And I do think that there was a Roman Empire, for sure. I just think that they lied about a lot of the historical timeline.
And truly, we have faith in the scriptures, but what we're saying is that they've taken control of the translations of scriptures to change what it actually said.
All right.
That's why you have to go back as far back as you can.
Specificity of the historicity, trigger words. Yeah, I know, it's hilarious. Is that a green screen, right? Yeah, dude, such a green screen, bro. Such a green screen that I can walk down into it.
Don't do that, dude. That's pretty steep.
I'm not gonna walk down in here.
Look, in the green screen, there's beer cans.
Yeah, I got beer cans in my green screen. All right, so this is a real background. Which I think you might have been sarcastic right then.
You can show them the not pretty part.
Oh yeah, how am I changing? Well, how do I change the green screen? That's what I want to know. How am I changing all this? Something's not adding up.
That's some high-tech equipment you got.
Dang, bro. What you guys know about the green screen game? All right, I'm gonna catch up with y'all. Thanks for the support. I'll read off the donations at the next MacBook stream. You know what I'm saying? I can't really do it on my phone at the same time. Like, I'll read the super chats, but I mean any other donations.
Man, people asking heavy questions, man. It would take a whole nother stream just to talk about this, and I don't like talking about this because people get triggered because they have been socially conditioned to think that things of scriptures are detestable. So
let's save it for the Shabbat stream.
Yeah, we'll do that.
Guys, I love that I love that you guys are thirsty for knowledge and want to dig into the scriptures. That's beautiful, and that means Yah's working on you, because that's what it all comes down to, is just to hold steadfast, prove things to be true, look into the truth. Be humble enough to admit you don't know everything. You might have to update what you think right now, next week. There's nothing wrong with that, right? Like, it's easier to fool them people than to convince them that they've been fooled. If you can fall outside of that category, you're good to go. Just humble yourself. We all used to think the earth was a ball that defied physics, you know? Like, now we all think that's the stupidest thing ever. But we didn't even know what the radius was. We didn't know what the circumference was. We didn't know any of it. We didn't go measure the earth ourselves until we found out that it could be a lie. Yeah, we had no idea that there was compounding vectors with a pressurized system next to a near-perfect vacuum, which violates the second law of thermodynamics. We didn't even know what the second law was, most of us, right? I mean, I knew what it was. I didn't even know how it applied to the earth. I never even thought about it, dude. None of us did. So, like, it's okay. My point is that now, 4 or 5 years into researching it, you know that it's just one of the most absurd lies ever. Like, you had to get there. You know, you're gonna have to get there with the scriptures too. They change a lot of stuff, and it should be weird to you that the whole New Testament's in Greek. Right? So the Romans came, they took and threw out all the Hebrew, and then they made their own translations to fit their own polytheistic pagan culture, to absorb it for control purposes. And now we're digging through it. We're trying to get to the truth. And that's how it works. And we got to look at the Hebrew etymology. The English version of the scriptures are messed up. But I'll tell you one thing. If you pray for discernment, Yah is going to help show you what you need to know at the time. Apply the Torah. Go over the beginning. Don't start in the middle of the book.
a good beginning of like looking into like how things get changed between the Greek and the Hebrew is get an interlinear dictionary that goes from Hebrew to Greek, Greek to Hebrew, because we have what's called the Septuagint, which is the Greek version of the Old Testament, where you can look at the New Testament words in Greek and then look back in the Old Testament where they changed it from a Hebrew word, then find out what the Hebrew root is of that word, and then find a new definition, the true definition.
Yep. You have to research with diligence when it comes to etymology of Hebrew. You just got to. It's the world we live in. All right, guys, I'm gonna wrap it up. I'm gonna start updating the website. Like I said, when we go back up here to our campsite in the state park, we got no service. So I figured I would just kind of do a mobile stream and catch up with you guys. Masqueradetour.com, MASKERAID tour.com. Because this is a masquerade. If you want to keep up with our location stuff, I'll keep it updated after the next couple days. And there's also a contact button and there's a donate button on the website. And then of course, you want to support $WitsitGetsIt on Cash App and Whitsitt@protonmail.com on PayPal.
Thanks for the support.
Oh, taking back eating. Much respect to you and Just Shaq. Thank you very much for the support. And thanks for the kind words. Much love, bro. In a world where no one knows what the world is. All right. That's right, guys. Don't know how to pronounce it. Thanks, Austin. Yeah, no problem.
Berean it up. You know, like a Berean, search it on the scriptures.
Gotcha. Thanks to Austin, I'm drinking more juice. Yeah, good. And organic apple juice is the best. I'll stay here forever if I don't get off. Much love, Austin. Blessings to you for what you do, brother. Thank you for the kind words and support, man. Much love, Anthony. All right, seek and speak truth unequivocally. The weak find contentment in the consensus of ignorance. So just, wear it as a badge of honor when you're ostracized by the stupid world that don't know anything. Unplug from the system. Stop watching the news. Operation Mockingbird, declassified decades ago, tells you that the CIA runs the mainstream news. So they're obviously not trying to help you out. And then, yeah, I'll stay updated with you as much as you can. If you're in East Tennessee, shoot me an email. And when I get service, I'll run